Well, here we are, and we are live today. And welcome, everybody. I'm Lucy Rosa-Stagi, and I'm your host for today. If you are joining us live, please, down below in the comment, type hashtag live, or if you're listening to the replay, hashtag and type in replay. And if you want to comment, then you have to allow StreamYard to give you permission, all right? And so there's a little note there that you have to click and allow StreamYard to let you comment. And if you just want to react, if you just want to send us a thumbs up, or we prefer love, send us a lot of love because we love loves. So today I have an awesome guest. My guest today is very passionate about helping others shine in their careers. And actually her specialty is really supporting mid-career professionals to find better careers and career opportunities, that is, and build a professional brand. And so we're going to talk about all that today. So what we have in common, because I always like to tell you what we have in common, is we belong to the KBB family. We have that in common. Yeah, KBB means Knowledge Business Blueprint. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And the other thing we have in common are languages. We both speak English, French, and Spanish, and we both studied in Spain. But Heike speaks German. So I did take 2 years of German in college, but I couldn't hack it. I just couldn't do it. So anyway, we also belong to several social media groups. So, all right, without any further ado, let's bring Heike in and welcome her. Hi, Heike. How are you?
Hi, everyone. Great to be here.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
You can hear me, right? Okay, good.
Actually, I'm hearing myself twice.
Oh, that's because you're on there twice. If you notice, you may have to. I see two of you there.
Can you mute one of me? Let's try this.
I don't know if okay. Is that better? I unmuted you.
No, still don't.
Okay, that didn't work. You know what? You may have to come in and go out. I don't know. Edit name.
Oh gosh.
No. Yeah, you came in twice for some reason. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
It's not too bad. It's not too echoey. I love technology. You go live and these things happen all the time to you, at least to me. So, okay. So tell us, Heike, where are you coming from? Where are you right now? I'm in Mexico. Where are you?
I'm currently in the state of Maryland, but I'm originally from Germany and I've lived in various countries and states.
Okay, great. So you were born in Germany. That's why you speak German so well. Okay, great. Now we have KBB in common. Where KBB is a program that was launched by Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi at the end of 2018, 2019. When did you come into the KBB program?
I think I came in 2019.
2019, right? And can you tell me why you came into the KBB? Because I know your background. You are a career woman. So,
yes.
Why did you, what was your interest there in KBB?
I was looking to go from coaching one-to-one to one-to-many and to go more online. Because I had done a lot of my coaching previously through in-person coaching. And this was just an opportunity that I didn't want to pass up because I really want to be able to reach a bigger audience.
Okay. So actually, did the course help you to do that? Did it help you in your evolution of your career, and how did it help you?
It helped me clarify a lot of what I was trying to do, because I actually did make a shift not only in medium, but also in topic. I started out as a business coach, and I have since shifted to career coaching and mostly LinkedIn coaching.
Okay.
So I did 2 shifts in one.
Okay, great. Now you are familiar that you do know that KBB evolved this year to a brand new level. The project just became a new kind of even the course changed, right? Digital product system.
Yes.
It took on a new name, and actually, the self-education being the new norm that Tony and Dean started as a movement has now become a self-education revolution. But this year, I mean, really, when we launched this year, they almost touched 1 million people. I think the figure was like 950,000. So these program KBB and Project Next are very important for people to join. So, okay, let's talk about. Tell us a little bit about your background. As it relates to what you're doing now. I mean, I know your background is, your resume reads a mile long. so let's just talk a little bit about the background and how it led to where you are now. How you all started.
My background originally is in marketing. I have a degree in Spanish from an undergrad and a master's degree in international management. And that's worth most of my career. In 2013, I decided that I wanted to work more directly with clients instead of being the intermediary between companies. And that's when I shifted to becoming a coach.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. But you have been a businesswoman since what year? I mean, if I compare, well, I shouldn't compare myself to anybody, but I came in to the online world about 3 years ago. But you've been in the business world for a long time, right?
Well, yes, but as I mentioned, not online. I was doing everything in person. And that became difficult with travel, with commute times, scheduling. It was not time efficient to do everything in person.
Right. So I'm sorry we're having this echo, and I know it's because there's two of you here, and I don't know if it's worth us having you go out and come back in. Oh, device not connected. Okay, it just took care of itself. I think it just took care of itself. So you're a career business coach, all right? You're a certified business coach, actually. You're a speaker, as I understand. You're a creator of workshops, seminars, masterminds. You're a course creator, I noticed. And you are a LinkedIn strategist, an expert and consultant. How did you become an expert in LinkedIn, and why LinkedIn? Oops. I guess you will have to come back in. Oops, I think we lost Heike and device not connected. So there will be need to correct their microphone before you can add them to the stream. They will need to correct. Okay, so let me send her a note that she needs to. Oh, there she is. Okay. All right. There was a notice.
Yes, I closed a bunch of windows, and I think I just fixed the echo.
It's just so wonderful. Thank you for doing that. That's great.
I think what you were asking about was how I got into LinkedIn. And
Exactly.
That was for personal reasons, really. I was in the process of making a career change and relocated from Wisconsin to Maryland.
Okay.
And in that process, I moved to a state where I didn't have connections. I didn't know anybody, but I needed doctors. I needed a lawyer. I needed whatever else you need in terms of professional support when you move to a new city. And so I reached out on LinkedIn and was just amazed by the helpfulness of strangers.
Wow.
And that really got me hooked. And then LinkedIn had some features at the time that it no longer has. There were some question and answer rooms, if you will. that were very helpful to me at the time. And then I just expanded my network on LinkedIn, even locally, but also continued to expand it nationally and internationally, and have now grown it to over 7,000 people. And in the process, I mean, I joined LinkedIn in 2008. I've built a significant network, and I've built enough expertise to where I started teaching it. Even in 2013, I did in-person group sessions of, up to 10 people at a time. And I've continued that. And then, the pandemic hit, all the in-person stuff went out the window, and I decided I'm going to make this my priority, and I'm going to do it online.
Wonderful, wonderful. It was a great opportunity for you. I mean, the pandemic was terrible in a lot of ways, but, it offered a lot of opportunities for people, and certainly
That's right.
for you in this case, and I think, you got an award for LinkedIn. Were you not one of the top 100 LinkedIn profiles in 2012?
I was one of the top profiles. I don't even remember if it was top 100, but it was pretty high up. And they've stopped giving out these
did they?
rankings. And it's not like it came with an award, a medal, or any kind of thing. Like, it was kind of a bragging rights sort of thing. But yeah, I was pretty high up there in the rankings. And even now, if you start typing my name, you don't have to type the whole name in order to find me. Even on Google, LinkedIn is going to come up before my own website because I'm active there.
Okay. So, because my experience with LinkedIn, I remember if people wanted to find a job online, they went to LinkedIn. That was how I thought about it. And of course, my platform, and when we talk about platform for my audience, I mean Instagram, I mean Facebook, I mean LinkedIn. Now there's TikTok and there's Clubhouse, right?
Yes.
And so we all kind of have our preferred platform. For example, I'm on Facebook because my target audience is the baby boomers, and that's where I find the baby boomers online. So your target audience are professional people, right? Mid-career professionals, right?
Right.
And so here's the other thing. Professional branding, it seems to be the two words most important in the 21st century. Personal branding. When I think of the word branding, I think of Coca-Cola, I think of Pepsi, I think of Kleenex. Can you explain to us and to me, to my audience, what that means in this world of online business?
Sure. So to me, personal branding is not a logo or a company name. It's really what, in theory, people would say about you as a person when you're not in the room.
Right.
Do they remember your name? Do they remember what you do for a living? Do they remember you as someone who's kind and helpful, or just out for themselves? That's really, to me, what your personal brand is. And you can build that on any number of platforms online. And where I think LinkedIn really stands out is that you can get recommendations, which elsewhere might be called testimonials, in writing that link the person who's written the recommendation for you to your profile with their profile picture, their headline. And therefore, that really gives you credibility, because you cannot put that on your own profile. It has to come from someone else.
Right.
So that's really one of the standouts for LinkedIn from my perspective. And it's one of the things that helps when you're looking for a job or when you're looking for clients. They're going to look at the recommendations you have and who recommended you.
Right, exactly. So that's very interesting. So it almost sounds like no matter what platform you're on, you should kind of have a presence on LinkedIn. I mean, I have an account, but I'm not very active, and I keep getting these messages. Somebody wants to join you, or somebody wants you to,
right.
So.
Yes. Well, LinkedIn to me is a search engine for people. And when somebody puts in your name, hopefully you're going to come up in the first 10 search results. Just like on Google, you want to be on page 1. In order to do that, you have to have a complete profile, and that includes a number of sections, some of which people forget about, and it really impacts their visibility. But it also is affected by whether you're active on LinkedIn. In other words, do you show up? Do you message people privately? Do you interact with posts publicly? Do you yourself post, or do you just like, share, and comment?
Right.
All of that combined makes a difference. That said, if LinkedIn is not your primary hangout because your audience is someone else, it can still be helpful to have at least a well built out profile and have a number of recommendations, because the recommendations don't go away. They retain their validity. And in fact, they could increase in importance as the people who've recommended you proceed in their career and therefore have higher titles than they had maybe when they wrote the recommendation for you.
Right.
So that it's still important, and you can still put it on your resume. And in terms of accepting invitations, I could talk for 15 minutes just about that, but ultimately my recommendation is to, yes, accept recommendation or accept LinkedIn requests from people that you don't know, provided that their profiles look legitimate. There are some key markers that I would look for when evaluating whether to connect with someone that make them stand out as a potential spammer or just illegitimate profile.
All right. Well, you know, the thought that I've had is that sometimes people ask me to be a friend or connect on LinkedIn, and they're not necessarily people that I want to do business with. So I'm just wondering how they match up those names. I mean, obviously, I know some of these people, and I'm going, you know.
It's all in the algorithm. The more connections you have, the more likely it is that, you know, they're figuring, you know, if you know Sue and Tom, you're probably going to know Betty too, that type of thing. So a lot of that is the algorithm, but people can do searches based on keywords that are in your profile. So if, for instance, I regularly get invites from people that want to help coaches improve their business, because they've done a search on LinkedIn for keywords like coach or business coach or whatever they are specifically interested in targeting. So you can find people that way. Mm-hmm. People can also do searches on things like the school you went to. And if you went to a big university, people might look through the alumni roster, or you know, anything else you have listed. For instance, I'm active in Toastmasters. So sometimes people reach out from across the globe saying, hey, I'm also in Toastmasters. You want to connect? So there are many ways that people can, you know, find commonalities that might encourage them to reach out with a LinkedIn request. And in terms of whether that's valuable or not, that depends on what you make of it. I think any connection, no matter if it's LinkedIn or Facebook or somewhere else, is only as valuable as the relationship you build. So if you just rack up numbers, it's not going to help you a whole heck of a lot. But if you actually start conversations with people, then that can be very valuable. And someone that, based on their profession, doesn't seem like a good client for you may have a very good network and be able to refer you to your perfect client. But you won't know that until you have a conversation with them. Let that be in writing or on Zoom or by telephone. It doesn't matter. The main thing is, don't just accept an invite and move on. Start a conversation.
Yeah. And likewise, when people befriend you on Facebook, the same thing, you know, you Absolutely. Have to start that conversation, because it's about building relationships. But very often, you know, I mean, for my Facebook group, I'm interested in finding, you know, my target audience and helping them. And I get out of the blue some guy from Italy who wants to join. And I'm wondering, you know, actually, I had to, on my profile, had to change the fact that I was single to being in a relationship, because I was getting too many of those. And I guess, you know, that's pretty
cool. People that search for that for whatever reasons. I think in many cases it's unsavory, but yeah, you'll find those on any platform. Fortunately, less so on LinkedIn.
Less so because it's more
Yes.
professional. Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. I noticed that I know you mentioned Toastmasters, and you've
Yes.
been. It's Toastmasters International, and not only are you a member, and it sounds like you're in a lot of groups, but you're not just a member. You actually hold positions in all of these groups. All right.
I did, because in order to become what's called a DTM, or a Distinguished Toastmaster, you have to go through leadership roles. Because even though Toastmasters is known for developing people's communication and particularly public speaking skills, the tagline of Toastmasters is actually where leaders are made. And so a significant portion of going up to become a Toastmaster, a Distinguished Toastmaster, is to have held a leadership role on a club level for a minimum amount of time, and then area level. And you have to participate in projects and a variety of things. So I did that for a number of years. Right now, I am actually stepping back and only being a member that gives speeches on occasion or does other club functions. But yeah, I'll probably step up again and do other leadership roles in the future.
Because you're in groups, you're in organizations, I see, and every one of them, you have some kind of a function, not just a membership, which is amazing. So, a leader you are, that's for sure. Let me ask you what I hope is not a strange question. You're a business career coach. So, coaching has become the 21st century thing to do also. There's so many coaches out there. So why, if I wanted a business career coach, why would I choose you over maybe somebody else? I mean, maybe the question is, how do you choose your person, your avatar?
Just in general, how you choose your coach is, first of all, you want to know what your goal is, and then find someone that can help you get there.
Right.
But beyond that, you're looking for somebody who matches your personality. Taking an offbeat example like the military, a lot of us have through movies heard of a drill sergeant.
Right.
Well, that kind of coaching might work for some people. It doesn't work for me personally at all. I need the kind of coach that cheers me on and celebrates my wins, but still nudges me along. So you have to find the right personality fit. And sometimes that may be more important than any particular set of letters behind someone's name. Because actually the coaching field is, at this point, unregulated. So in theory, anybody can call themselves a coach. And you can find excellent coaches that don't have any certifications, and you can find awful coaches that do have a certification. So figure out, for starters, what it is you want, and then does the personality match? Do they have recommendations or testimonials that, you can look at? And for that, I'm glad that on LinkedIn, my recommendations are showing. Plus, I have others on my website based on in-person events where I literally, as was appropriate for the situation, handed out print questionnaires that people filled in by hand. So I typed those up. But so you want to check that. And the other thing is, you can have the very, very best coach in the world. You can have Tony Robbins or Dean Graziosi as your coach. But if you don't implement as a person, all the coaching is for nothing. Yeah. You have to do the work in order for the coaching to do its job. And for me, that's actually really obvious when people get a consult about what to do on their LinkedIn profile, and then I go back and nothing has changed. Well, I can't help you if you don't implement. So.
Well, that's true too, but there's a question of skills too. I think in my experience, I've noticed that the best coach for me, because I've had coaches, and I'm actually in the business of looking for another coach. I find that the better coach for me is somebody who's one or two steps ahead of me. Absolutely. I mean, I did the business marketing with Tony Robbins. That's way over my head. Yeah. It's. I mean, too far removed. I mean, I don't have the skill set to be able to do what they want me to do. And I've had some coaches like that where it's like it's frustrating, and I think so I think it's been my experience that somebody who's one or two steps ahead is a better coach for you. So
right.
You do agree. Okay. So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, Heike, how would they? I noticed. Did you notice the tickler down below? That
yes, beautiful. Thank you. That's certainly helpful.
I'm going to say find Heike Heemann on multiple platforms via just one link, and that's linktr.e, like the word tree.
.ee. So basically. Linktree, yes. And then my name spelled out. And from there, you can link to my Facebook profile, my Facebook page, my LinkedIn account, et cetera, So, and to my website. That way you don't have to remember a whole lot. For the most part, if you just put my name in Google, I think by the time you get to the third or fourth letter of my last name, I should pop up.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. I can't wait to be there. I can't wait.
An advantage of a weird name.
Well, that's true. That's true. Because the Smiths and the Lindas and all these other names are just like.
They're going to have to. They have to fight to get on that front page, but with an unusual name.
But then you and I have the problem with our spelling. I see that only my first name is there, and most people want to say Lucy Y, and that's not. So they won't find me on like that. So interesting. So do you have any kind of tips for people who like me, for example? I am on LinkedIn. It's not my major platform. I'm going to pay more attention to it now. I think I probably have to optimize my profile. Do you have any tips on maybe optimizing your profile to help us out a little bit?
Absolutely. Let me give you a couple. So number one, you want to have a professional profile picture and have that set to visible. A lot of people, when they first join LinkedIn, set everything to private. And then wonder why they don't get any traffic to their profile, and because they've forgotten about these settings. So check out your privacy settings. Make sure you have a professional headshot. Update your headline because it automatically defaults to whatever you list as your current job. So if you list currently that you are the owner or founder or CPA, that's all that shows up. But you have 220 characters to flesh that out. So mine starts, and I update it regularly, so I don't have it memorized, but something along the lines of helping you with, to use LinkedIn successfully. But then I elaborate that I'm available as a speaker, that I'm available for masterminds, etc. One phrase that you could try to fill out, so to say, for your headline is, I help. And then who do you help? Is it, moms? Is it working dads? Is it whoever to do what? What do you help them with? And then either via, which is how you do it, or without. And an example there I like to give is, let's say you're a personal trainer and you help people get a slender midriff. Tone down your midriff.
Right.
But a lot of people hate sit-ups. So you could say, I help moms post childbirth to regain their sexy middle without sit-ups, something like that.
Yeah, something.
But so you want to talk to your audience and tell them how you can help them fix their problem. Okay. And beyond that, really fill out your profile and make sure you show up a couple of times a month and interact at least with some of other people's posts. And don't just hit comment and actually write something valuable. That helps with your searchability because LinkedIn likes that. It rewards it with better placement. And it gets your face seen by other people that might then reach out with a connection request.
So how important, for example, on Facebook, the profile picture is, as long as you have the face, it's certainly no dark glasses. Mine go darker with the light. I can't help that. But so in Lincoln, it's a professional, these stands that people.
Well, you don't have to make it stuffy.
There
are certainly fun headshots out there, and it is a good idea to have it focused in on your face, preferably not cut out of a wedding photo where you can tell somebody's arm is hanging over your shoulders. So it should be in a professional setting. If right now, because of the pandemic, people can't get to a photographer or don't want to, because portrait sessions usually are 1-to-1 and the photographer is more than 6 feet away anyway. So that should be a possibility. But if it's not, at least make it in front of a clean background and make sure you smile. I can't tell you how many people I have seen that think that looking stern is a good thing. Well, no, I want to talk to you and not your competitor who's got a big grin on his face and looks approachable. Exactly. Show your teeth.
I know it's just a small little thing, but it's so profound. It's so important, because it is, online branding is so different than person to person, because it's in the words, it's in the picture, that's it. That's the only recourse you have. And it's a one-time shot, because people take a look. They're there for 7 seconds, and they don't like your look, or they don't like whatever they see, then they're off to the next one. So
yes, and a good profile picture on LinkedIn increases the likeliness that someone will click through to your profile, I think by 11 times.
Wow.
What I've seen.
Okay. So. That's great. And LinkedIn, I think, has like 200 million. I think.
Oh, it's got a lot of users. The caveat, just like with any other platform, is that they're not all active.
Okay.
And they're not all in your network. So, don't get intimidated by the numbers, but just know that people on LinkedIn on average have a higher income level than on many other platforms, and often are in more senior positions in their profession. So if, as a colleague of mine in the LinkedIn space says, you're not looking to sell a pen on LinkedIn, you're looking to find the wholesaler.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing with using multiple platforms in this day and age. You may have different audiences on Facebook versus LinkedIn. So I'm looking for the individual on Facebook who wants to get help with LinkedIn because they're looking for a new job, or they've changed careers. They're now an entrepreneur. They want to find clients. But on LinkedIn, I'm looking for the podcaster. I'm looking for the people that are looking for speakers. So the HR personnel. So I have a different audience based on the platform and who I'm speaking with there. And I would recommend that for everybody. If you are looking for one-on-one clients on Facebook, who could in theory refer those same types of clients to you on LinkedIn? If you're in the health field, are you looking for doctors that can refer you? If you're in the coaching field, is it social workers that can refer you? Or are you looking for podcast hosts? Optimize your profiles based on who you are trying to talk to, and that may not be the same person based on whatever Facebook or Instagram or other platform you're on.
Right. You just bring up, I see that so many people who have one platform like yourself, LinkedIn, well, I think you're probably more varied than that. But for me, I was, I've been indoctrinated, I suppose, to just be on one platform and work that well until I have control and can go somewhere else. Sure. So the question here is, oh God, the question just off my mind.
Well, I think where you were going is don't spread yourself too thin.
Exactly.
And I totally agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I have profiles on multiple platforms, but I'm really primarily active on two, Facebook and LinkedIn. And that's because of where my audience is. And frankly, I'm still learning about Facebook. So, build slowly, but know that LinkedIn, in terms of the recommendations section at least, is an incredibly valuable tool. Even if you don't spend a whole lot of time there, if you have solid recommendations on LinkedIn, you can always refer people to that profile and say, hey, look, so-and-so had really good things to say about what I did for them or their company, or really good things about my product, if that's what you offer rather than a service. But then, if that's all you need from LinkedIn, then, spend your time on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or wherever. It's certainly a balancing act. We all have only 24 hours in the day. And until we've grown our businesses to where we can have a team, you have to be judicious with how you use your time.
You absolutely do. And I was just thinking yesterday, people used to be after you for money. Now they're after you for your time. Can I have 5 minutes of your time? And go, oh my God,
Yes.
It's amazing because it's overwhelming, really. So what advice would you give someone who's just starting an online business, doesn't know where to start, who to trust? What kind of advice would you give that person?
I would say reach out to people that are a little ahead of you in the business and do your research. Find out what they've done. Maybe join a mastermind. Get a coach if you can afford it. If you can't, it's based on research. Follow people and mimic what they do and modify to what is suitable to you without copying. I mean, you still want to pay attention to copyrights and stuff like that. But you can, even if it's somebody in a slightly different field, you could potentially learn from the strategies they use. What newsletters do you actually open in your own email box? Maybe you want to just pick one or two and pick them apart. What are they saying? What was in the subject line that I liked? Why did I open this email and not the one next to it?
Right. So pay attention to those type of things.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Yeah, at first, when I first got online, didn't know where to start, and I ended up in e-commerce, and it's not where I wanted to be. But it was all a learning curve. It was beautiful, and I am where I am today because I was directed and finally got a coach, and so you're right. I just needed more information, and that's what I didn't know how to get it.
Yeah. And ask questions. Even if it's in a forum like a Facebook group, just throw the question out. Most likely someone else has the same question and someone else knows the answer.
Right. Absolutely.
You have nothing to lose.
That today I know that you're doing a mastermind. So is that your preferred, more than seminars or courses? Doing masterminds, is that what you like to do? And what is your mastermind on, by the way? I mean,
so my mastermind is truly about learning how to use LinkedIn effectively. Okay. And right now I have a mix of clients in my current one, from people that have changed careers from corporate to entrepreneurship, to someone who's been in entrepreneurship for decades, and as someone changing from academia to something else. So it's a mix. I like the mastermind concept because there's more interaction. It's not like a seminar where I'm just talking and I'm just basically sharing information and everybody's like, overwhelmed. People can ask questions. I have a private Facebook group just for the mastermind, and we've had some really interesting questions, especially recently. So it helps the learning when everybody else pitches in, because sometimes I don't think about a question and somebody raises it. And I'm like, yeah, I bet other people want to know that too. So I'm now through the first mastermind. I actually offered it as a 4-week, and I'm throwing in a 5th week because there's more to teach. And I'm starting the next one at the beginning of August. So.
Okay, so people, if they go to your platform, one of your platform, they can get that information for sure, right?
Absolutely, yes. Yep. There's a link to my website where I explain what's all covered in the mastermind, and then they can reach out. My email's right there if they have additional questions.
Okay, great. You mentioned, I don't know if you have a little bit, anything to offer my audience insofar as what is it, the PDF file or anything that,
Yes, absolutely. Same thing. If they go to the Linktree link, there is a button to request my 7 tips for successful use of LinkedIn. I'm happy to send that out. Just put that in there, and or connect with me directly on either Facebook or LinkedIn and ask for it. Just ask for the 7 tips and I'll know what that is.
Okay, great. Thank you so very much. Well, I don't want to take any more of your time. Thank you for putting up with this technology.
Thank you.
And knowing what to do. So I really appreciate your.
Thank you for having me. And if your team has any, or if your group has any questions, as I said, feel free to reach out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for being here today. And as you know, next week we will have another awesome guest. So please join us at 2:00 Eastern time, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Thanks, Lucy.
You see.